Hello everyone, I am Taureor and welcome to Hearts of Iron 4. You guys have been asking me to do Feedback Gaming's No Oil Challenge. And if you don't know what that is, Feedback Gaming has issued an open challenge to YouTubers where you need to play on elite Ironman historical focuses and have France, Poland and the Soviet Union capitulate as Germany. He's also added a lot of very specific rules. That essentially means do it my way. You guys wanted to see it, so I'm going to oblige and follow all of these rules and add more, because he calls it a no oil challenge while still using oil. We're gonna kick it up a notch. Keep all the rules, keep all the requirements, but it's gonna be a true no oil challenge, which means I'm not going to use any oil whatsoever. No planes, no ships, no tanks, no motorized. Nothing. Okay, let's go. Elite Ironman Historical Germany. Now, if you want a detailed explanation of the rules, you might want to check out Feedback Gaming's video, but I'm going to summarize it. Essentially, you can't do any research here. You can't do the focuses that give you oil here, can't integrate war economies, and have to do Rhineland, and can't do Anschluss before 1938, and can't do Danziger War before 1939. It's all acceptable. The most problematic rule is that you can't declare war without a focus war goal, so you can only declare from focus war goals. I can work with that, and there's also limitations on buying oil and conquering Romania and stuff like that, but we don't need to care about that because we're just not going to use any oil. So let's take all our planes and disband them. And take all our navy. Alright, you have to pay political power for disbanding the Pride of the Fleet, right? Okay, so we'll just take all our navy and park it in a port forever and not use it. See, we have tanks. Tanks use oil. And we have cars. Cars also use oil. No, we can't have that. We're going to switch all of them to just infantry. We're just going to use infantry and cavalry, maybe artillery, not sure about that. Goal remains the same, have France, Poland and the Soviet Union capitulate. Now, having too many rules limits my creativity a bit, and also I don't like micromanagement, so I'm gonna be super lazy about this one. Let's train up some cavalry, because we want to have a lot of manpower in the field quickly, and cavalry is smaller so it will deploy faster. As for a focus, let's start with Rhineland, and just generic research, also switch our doctrine to mass assault. Because without oil, mobile warfare doesn't really make sense, does it? And some industry research as well. As for military factories, well, I'm not gonna need any of these things. I'm not gonna need ships, I'm not gonna need cars, or tanks, or anything else. So we're just gonna do infantry weapons. And a lot of them. And convoys. Now, I might be wrong about that, but I think in that time frame, convoys, so civilian ships like that, mostly ran on coal. I might be wrong, but they certainly can run on coal. I don't think they use oil. Now, construction. Let's start with some infrastructure and civilian factories. I'm not building here because the Reichsautobahn will cover infrastructure here. So for now, just infrastructure and civilian factories. Let's unpause. We're not going to be doing much for the first few years of the game, unless France opposes Rhineland, which would be cool, but that only happens like 1% of the time. Now, method bills. They boost your economy a bit and let you construct military factories faster, but they also drain political power. I'd rather have political power, so I'm just gonna let this expire. Now, we could easily have enough manpower to do Anschluss now, but we're not allowed to do that until 1938. Just do 4-year plan, and use the newly acquired political power to hire Rudolf Hess, silent workhorse. We have available planes in reserves, but we're not allowed to use any planes. Let's deploy cavalry as quickly as possible. They do have the highest priority because I want to have a lot of units in the field. Why do I want to have a lot of units in the field? Quickly, because I want to send as many volunteers to Spain as I can. This way we'll get some extra experience which can speed up our doctrine research. Enough political power for another advisor. It's going to be Martin Bormann. Goodbye, methyl bills. United Kingdom dominates Dutch trade negotiations. Whatever. We don't care. We have 2 bonuses to industrial research from the 5-year plan. I'm going to keep them for construction 2 and 3. Instead, let's work on this. It's ahead of time, but I want to get better guns as quickly as I can. Now, we have enough political power for this guy, but I'm actually going to go to free trade first. Spanish Civil War, perfect. Let's send some volunteers there. I can send up to 5. Oh, right. Let's take 5 well-trained infantry units and send them as volunteers to Spain. Now, I'm gonna need 3 or 4 field marshals, preferably with the brilliant strategist trait. So, let's promote von Manstein and assign Guderian as the general. I will promote him later. Aggressive assaulter, offensive doctrine, charismatic. Attack, and be super aggressive about it. Free trade time. That not only boosts our factories, also our research, so it's a very good policy. Let's hire Hjalmar. We will lose him when we do Sudetenland, but he's going to be quite useful before that. Got a wagon done, time for the 5th research slot. Construction 3. Doing it ahead of time will give us a nice boost. Also, now we have sufficient political power to hire someone, and it's gonna be Heinz Guderian, the Blitzkrieg theorist. He's gonna speed up our doctrine research. Let's do the computing machine. It's a bit ahead of time, but the bonus is well worth it. I think it's time for army innovation. Also, concentrated industry 1. That's the end of the Spanish Civil War. That's unfortunate. I was hoping to get much more experience from that, but it's gonna have to be sufficient. Alright, let's use it. I'm going to remove the support companies from our cavalry brigades. Save that. Now duplicate it. Rename to small, and just leave 1 cavalry bit inside. Let's cancel all these cavalry units and train the small ones instead. We can deploy a lot of them very quickly this way. And train up. Guderian gained a bit of experience. He's gonna be one of our 4 field marshals. Let's give him some traits. Army innovations complete. Chinese United Front, we're not going to mess with China this time. Instead, let's do Grossraumwirtschaft. And infantry equipment. Even though we're on elite, we get a lot of political power. Now, normally I'd have Poland already conquered at that point, but we're not allowed to do stuff too quickly, unfortunately. With Grossraumwirtschaft done, I'm going to align Romania. Having them as an ally can be quite useful. Time for MP38. It is ahead of time, doesn't matter, we want to start producing those as quickly as possible. Also, concentrated industry 2. Still just pumping out civilian factories. Extensive conscription now, giving all my field marshals the same traits. Let's ignore Hungary for now and do Reichsautobahn. Now we have some free political power and none of these are pressing, so let's do some anti-democratic and anti-communist raids, as well as improved worker conditions, and this way we'll be able to increase our stability a little bit, which will be quite helpful. It's December. I could wait and do Anschluss, but we're not in a hurry. Let's do German war economy in the meantime. That's 6 free factories and a switch to war economy. Also improved worker conditions. Oh, I forgot, you start with buying tungsten. Let's get rid of that. Yugoslavia wants our planes. Of course you can have them. I don't need my planes. German war economy complete, and it is now 1938, so we can do Anschluss. And all the things that come after it. Oh, my war support has gone down. No matter, I think Anschluss gives extra war support. Now these raids are not necessary, but we will have higher base stability thanks to them. And Anschluss. Here we go, extra base, war support, economy no longer a problem. Now it's time to annex some territory. Let's start with Slovenia. Did I overdo it a bit with the civilian factories? Maybe. Let's invite Romania to our faction. Now you might be curious why I'm doing anti-democratic and anti-communist raids, while I could just increase fascist support with an advisor, for example. Well, this not only increases support, it also increases base stability. And when we go to war, it will become useful. Also, mass mobilization. Let's hire an infantry expert. So how much infantry do we have? 151. I'm gonna need 3 full army groups, I think. We're about to finish the focus. Let's stop the exercise. Fun fact, this actually increases your army strength as perceived by the AI, I think. If you are exercising, your strength will effectively be lower, and the AI will be less afraid of you. There you go, Slovenia is ours. We don't really care about the eastern claims. Time for Sudetenland. Why am I doing them in that order? Well, essentially, you can usually get away with annexing both Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia completely, if you follow that order. So first Slovenia and Sudetenland, and then the rest. Sudetenland is ours. Let's do Yugoslavia first. I think it generates less world tension or something. And we lost our advisor. MP38 is done. Let's hire a war industrialist. Fate of Yugoslavia. Alright, we can do raids one last time, and then we can maximize fascist support by just hiring an advisor. I think I'll replace Rudolf Hess. Fate of Yugoslavia complete. Let's annex everything. Now time for Czechoslovakia. Fate of Czechoslovakia. And all of it belongs to us. And we can invite Italy. Sure, let's invite Italy to our faction. Temporarily. Eastern claims. And it's finally time to start making some military factories. We don't really care about the Eastern claims, but it is a gateway to Danzig or war, so we kind of have to do it. Why am I not doing anything? Well, I'm waiting for the Soviet Union to attack Poland. Let's do a treaty with USSR. Don't really need it, but it gives us army innovations too, and that's gonna be helpful. Time for MP43. And we can invite Bulgaria. Let's do that. Treaty with USSR done. Now army innovations too. As I mentioned before, we're not in a hurry. The Soviet Union will soon make their move against Poland, which is why I actually should have done that a bit earlier. We need to do the Danzig War focus. But we don't need to complete it, we just need to start it so that the guarantees start happening. Now I'm going to start Danzig War, wait for Poland to get guaranteed by the Allies. There it is, it's Britain. Let's wait a bit so France jumps in as well. Come on, France. France seems to not be interested in guaranteeing Poland. Okay, not a problem. Anyway, let's cancel the focus. Don't need that. Time for the Anti-Comintern Pact. Now, I didn't do these bonuses for doctrines perfectly, but it's gonna be good enough. You know what? I've overdone it a little bit on the civilian factories. Let's get rid of all that extra infrastructure here, because I should be constructing those military factories already. And lowering the numbers on the civilian factories we're building. We already have enough of those. Just so we don't waste the production we've already invested. And redo the military ones, starting with the provinces with 100% infrastructure. Yeah, because we need to start actually working on the military ones already. Soviet Union is doing claims in Baltic, good. Also, it's time for us to go to service by requirement. Unfortunately, this will damage our economy, but I do need the manpower. Anti-Comintern Pact done, now war with the USSR. Now, this war goal does not expire, so we'll just have it ready for whenever that time comes. They are justifying on Latvia. That is not the perfect outcome for us. I would much prefer them to just justify on Poland, but it ultimately won't really matter because they will eventually do the demand Eastern Poland focus. Netherlands cave to the British. We don't care. Hey, Soviet Union, you doing Poland yet? Not yet, no. They are justifying on Lithuania. Hungary seeks to join the Axis. Sure, why not? Now we have to monitor Italy closely because we don't want a war with Greece. We'll have to kick them if that happens. I suppose I could do Second Vienna Award, which will then lead to an alliance with Spain when it's time to do that. Oh, Human Wave Offensive. I can actually also spend army experience. Yeah, let's do that because this is quite a good one. Also, it's time to switch economies to limited exports. This will slow down my research and decrease factory output. However, it also means I no longer need to purchase steel. We are pretty much ready to fight the Soviets, but we still need them to attack Poland. Assassination of Trotsky, not our problem. Do we want to give Hungary anything? I'll try to give them a little bit. Let's see if Romania agrees. Yes, that's good enough. I guess I'll do befriend Turkey, can't hurt. Also, what is Italy doing? Italy is doing war with Greece. That means I'm going to have to kick Italy from the faction before this focus completes. The Netherlands joined the Allies. That can actually be useful to me. Also, it's time to kick the Italians from my faction. Why? Because we're not interested in a war with Greece. But I will take docking rights and military access if you want to give them to me. Let's exchange Rudolf Hess for Goebbels. We don't need political power anymore, and he is going to maximize fascist support and stability this way. We have befriended Turkey, and we don't want the Tripartite Pact. Soviet Union is doing claims in Poland. Good. Italy attacks Greece, not my problem. Okay, we now have 3 full army groups of infantry. I mean, I still need to assign them to army groups, but they're all trained up and all that. They are 20 with, and that is one of the requirements of the challenge. That's good. Soon they are going to be a little bit bigger. With Human Wave Offensive complete, we can do guerrilla warfare. It's not very important. More importantly, infantry width has decreased, and 1 more battalion. 19.2, less than 20. Time to designate some armies. And now for the orders. You guys stationed on the Polish border. Some of you here, some of you here. Let's paint some very advanced attack plans for all our armies. Everyone on aggressive Benelux border. France. And all that cavalry. And to Britain as well. Some to Canada, because that might come in handy later. Now I could do other British colonies, but honestly I don't need to. Now we can't do Sea Lion, but this is not Sea Lion. This is German tourists. And we wait a bit longer. And thanks to the next level of concentrated industry, some more military factories. Soviet Union declared war on Finland, not a problem. It's more important that they finally attack Poland, although it's taking a very long time. If you actually start in 1939, you can do this much faster. Demand Eastern Poland, finally. Okay. Italian-German technology treaty, of course, and time for us to do Danzig War. Like, properly do it this time. Oh, we can do some war propaganda against the Soviets. Let's do that. Also, I don't really need political power anymore. I'm going to replace Martin Bormann with Heinrich Himmler. Funnily enough, we can actually get military access through the Soviet Union, which would be great if we could declare war on Mongolia. Unfortunately, we can only declare war using the focus war goals, so this is not going to help us. Would be cool though. Japan took China, not my problem. Poland joined the Allies and the Soviets will attack Poland in a moment, which is precisely what we're waiting for. Italy wants back in our faction. Soon. Poland refuses German ultimatum. We have a war goal in Poland, we're not going to use that yet. Okay, Soviets declare war on Poland. Sure, Hungary can have our bombers. And now we declare war on the Soviet Union. Why? Well, because they are at war with Poland, soon with the rest of the Allies. This way, I will get military access from all of the Allies, even if I let Italy join my faction again, which I'm about to do. Okay, the British are at war with the Soviets, and so are the French. That is all I need. Please give me docking rights, and then military access. I probably don't need the docking rights, but I prefer to do it that way. Netherlands as well, as soon as they join the war against the Soviets. Now give me military access. Both France and Britain. Now my troops will start going as tourists to Britain and France. I would still want Netherlands and Canada to get involved in this. They have joined. Ask for military access from the Netherlands, and also from Canada for docking rights, and military access as well. Now, our guys should be on the way. Our guys are in France and Britain, but let's wait until at least a few of them go to Canada. Because Canada can be very useful as an operations base against the United States if we ever choose to destroy the United States. Around Maginot is complete. Do I need any more focuses? Not yet. I'll do alliance with Spain soon. Right, the majority of our troops have landed in Canada, which means it's time to declare war on Poland. Declare war on Poland, do not call any allies in, there is no need for that. And now when France and the United Kingdom join, well, they'll be ours. France has been called in, and France has been almost conquered. Everyone converge on Paris. Next, United Kingdom. France capitulates to us with a little bit of Italy. Now that France has capitulated, we can do alliance with Spain. And the United Kingdom should be joining shortly. Come on. United Kingdom has been called in. I have lots of troops around London. Taking it should not be a problem. Now they do tend to deploy troops in London, but when we surround it, like we just did, it should not be problematic. I have not activated the orders here. It's probably time to do that and reorganize this army a little bit. Everyone, attack. Triumph in France. Oh, cool. No, we have no need of Vichy France. Just waiting for Britain to finally give up. Canada has been called in, which is a good thing, because now we can take bits of Canada. Now, theoretically, the best way to do this would be to also send some troops to all the other colonies, including India, but, again, not necessary. And here goes London, which means the end of the Allies, and I can annex them, if I so choose. And I so choose. Italy is going to take a little bit. The Italians and Romanians actually got quite a lot, but that's really not a problem for me. German Raj and German East Indies. Useful. Also, got quite a lot of factories from that. Okay, now it's time to destroy the Soviets. Let's make sure everyone is called in to the war. Oh, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand constitute the Allies now. Cool, I guess. Time to reorganize our troops again and deal with the Soviets once and for all. Time for a new cavalry template. A bigger one. Just cavalry, but a lot of it. Well, cavalry is not as strong as infantry, but it sure is fast. So these guys will also join the main front lines against the Soviets, just with redesigned cavalry battalions. Now, time for my very sophisticated attack orders. A more sophisticated one this time, perhaps? Activate all these orders. That should take care of the Soviets in no time. In the meantime, still waiting for the best guns. Spain wants to send volunteers, sure, although I will have them as an ally in a moment. Let's let our guys do their thing. Be aggressive and just attack the Soviet Union quickly. Now, technically, we are still at war with the remainder of the Allies, but that doesn't really matter, does it? MP43. Perfect. Let's switch all our production to that. We're going to lose some production efficiency, but the new gun is way more powerful. Also, I have lots of steel from France. What now? Now we wait for our superior forces to destroy the Soviets. Should not take too long. We have lots of manpower and a great factory base that will keep our guys supplied all the time. Essentially what I plan to do is break their resistance with the infantry, and once it's broken, our cavalry, which is pretty weak, but faster, should push it quickly and hasten the defeat of the Soviet Union. Now, of course, it would be much faster with cars or tanks, light tanks especially, but tanks use fuel, and we don't. Alliance with Spain focus complete. Now we can improve national spirit, because we own London. Hey Spain, wanna join? Spain is a very useful ally because they tend to do naval attacks. No, I don't need expeditionary forces. I have enough forces. Now, we are having some supply troubles here, so let's push it manually. We're just one of the armies. This way they will not care if they have supplies, they'll just go forward. Now, this is imperfect, but the other armies will pick up the slack. United States joined the Allies. That could be a problem, because the Allies still exist, and they are still at war with us. So what I'm going to do is take this whole army, just send it to the US border. I wonder if my cavalry battalions could conquer the United States all by themselves. Unfortunately, I am not allowed to declare war on them. The United States are actually not participating in the war, so if they couldn't called in, well, my troops might actually be able to destroy them. We'll see. Perhaps I should have hired the attack guy rather than the movement guy. Let's switch that. Now, of course, I could micromanage this to be more efficient and not lose people to attrition and so on, but I think I might have mentioned that I hate micromanagement. The Soviets are still far from capitulation, but you'll see we have green markers almost everywhere, and that means the Soviets' resistance is basically broken, and we are only limited by our speed. So let's switch back to the army maneuver expert. It's not going to change much, but we'll be a bit faster. Yes, a leader should trust his generals, so we're just going to sit back and see what they do. Moscow is ours. This is taking a long time, isn't it? Let's speed it up a bit. You, cavalry, go there. You, infantry, go there. Quickly. The Soviet Union should be capitulating any day now. And here it is. The Soviet Union has capitulated. Okay, let's pass a couple of times. Romania's gonna take a little bit. And now I take the rest. And turn. Done. Thank you very much. We have annexed the Soviet Union. And France and Britain. And if the United States joined, we'd kill them too. Okay, we're done. 7th of May 1942. This is not the best time, clearly. I was pretty slow, but also I did not use any oil. So that's it for this one. And for the next video, I think I'll try conquering everything as quickly as possible as Germany. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you liked this video or not, if you like this type of challenge. For me, there were too many rules, but perhaps you prefer it that way. Let me know in the comments. That is it for today. If you want to see Feedback's original video, the link is in the description below, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye.